Today we're looking at some brand new WWE action figure news, man. Mattel did drop a gallery on us, and it's impeccable. We got some good stuff here. It's not totally impeccable. We're going to get into it. We're going to break it down, man. Let's shut the hell up and get straight into it with the Ultimate Editions that we got to see. Now, this is big because we finally got some updates on some figures that we knew were coming. We knew about these figures, and we do know now what they're going to completely look like. Now, we don't know what they feel like in hand, but we have a pretty good idea of what they're going to be about here with these new images. And we're starting things off with Ultimate Edition Series 30, which is going to feature Seth Rollins, Rhea Ripley, and Hulk Hogan. And we're taking a look at Seth Rollins first. And this figure, man, I really like what this figure has to offer. I think that everything here looks pretty damn good. I like the attention to detail. We're finally getting a Seth Rollins figure that is not mainly black or gold. I feel like every Seth Rollins we've gotten lately, or it seems like in the last couple years, has been black, gold, or a variation of that. And I think that, we finally get some red color in here, and I think this looks pretty good. I'm worried kind of about how do you see the gap between the thighs? I'm kind of worried about that. I don't know exactly what that's going to entail. It could just be the poses or the way that it looks here. Of course, we'll get it in hand, we'll pose him around, but kind of gives me kind of an Elite 57 Seth Rollins feel. If you guys remember that figure from back in the day, based off his matchup with Triple H at WrestleMania in the gold. But this figure's entrance jacket looks immaculate. It is a little funny when he has the jacket on and the head's yelling right there. It does kind of look like the head's floating a little bit there, but this figure does look great. I think this entrance coat is insane. Kind of got that snakeskin look. It looks like it has snakeskin on it. It's a crazy entrance jacket. So I think that this Seth Rollins is going to be very grand. Can't wait to get this one in hand. And so, as a big Seth Rollins guy, I think this looks great. I think the attention to details here is incredible. Kind of like Harley Quinn looking gear, kind of, is what I'm going to call this. Kind of Harley Quinn Seth Rollins. But let's move on to Rhea Ripley, man. This Rhea Ripley figure just looks insane, man. Something that used to be on my wish list all the time is, I wanted a Rhea Ripley that had the sternum tattoo. She finally has pretty much all of her tattoos on this figure, and I think it looks great. I think they did a good job kind of making them opaque, or, turning the opacity down a little bit so that you get kind of, they're kind of see-through. They stick on there. They look good. They look like tattoos. This looks very, very good, man. The mask, we got to see what that entrance garb looks like on some of the ringside live streams and stuff. And speaking of which, today there's a ringside live stream with my man Fig Heel over there, and tomorrow we will cover whatever they talk about in there. So we have a news video today, long video today for news, and then tomorrow we'll also have a long news video. So stay tuned for that. Like the video up, man. I appreciate you guys so very much. But this Rhea Ripley looks incredible. I'm very excited for this Rhea Ripley between the mask, the face paint, the sculpts, the tattoos. Only thing's going to be, feel in hand, posability. The drop down hips kind of worry me in some of these Ultimate Editions. Again, it could be the posing. It could be the photography. You never know until you get the figure in hand. That's why we talk about these things. But the mask on this just looks insane. We could have a contender already for Ultimate Edition of the Year or Women's Ultimate Edition of the Year here with this Rhea Ripley. So that is very sweet. I'm looking forward. This is probably one of the figures I'm most anticipating coming into 2026 is going to be this Rhea, and I think it looks outstanding. But the final figure is going to be Hulk Hogan. Now, this is a really outstanding Hulk Hogan for a few different reasons. It gives you different options. It does come with that new winged eagle that we saw with Cody Rhodes in the Defining Moments ringside exclusive that we talked about, or that we reviewed not too long ago on the channel. So we're finally going to get that newly tooled belt. It comes all together in one full swoop. It comes in the packaging for men on card collectors. He's ripping open that rubber material there. All these head sculpts besides the yelling one are repeats. We've seen them before. It comes with a headband. You do have the cross necklace. He comes with a fully intact Hulk Rule shirt that is non-Velcro, includes the rips in the back. It also has that new rip-away rubber mold that we have talked about for a number of months now on the channel. We've even talked about how that poses. So they did do in a ringside live stream, that those hands are connected to that rubber shirt material piece, and you can port those into the arms, and then you place that rubber covering shirt over the torso, and it makes it look like he is ripping his shirt. So it's a nice pre-pose deal that you don't have to really finagle with too much. You do have to, you'll have to get in position, but in comparison to other Hulk Hogan Ultimates we've seen in the past, I think this is going to give you that best look on display, and I think this could work for a lot of Hulk Hogan collectors. I know that it's the same garb in terms of attire. Hulk Hogan didn't really change his look that much, but I think that this is a pretty good Ultimate Edition right here, man. You're kind of taking a really good Ultimate from the past, giving it some bells and whistles, and redoing it, and it's going to sell. So, I mean, Mattel's going to do that for you. But this Hulk Hogan does look good. I think it accomplishes what they want to accomplish with this figure, and I think it's pretty good and innovative, and I like to see new things included in the line. I think this is where the steps are. But let's get into Elite Series 125, man. We're starting things off with Elite 125 Cody Rhodes. Now, this is from his matchup with John Cena at WrestleMania, which is pretty insane that they didn't do an Ultimate Edition of this, because didn't he have he had another custom skull mask, which I guess maybe they would give us an Ultimate Edition for him, but I don't know. Would they do this figure again in Ultimate Edition? They didn't do this with WrestleMania 38, 39, or 40. All three of those were an Ultimate Edition form of every, attire that Cody Rhodes has had, and I don't really like this head sculpt. This is the same head sculpt for Cody we've seen over and over again. Pretty sure they gave him the neck tattoo again. Yep, they sure did. They put it on his head, man. God in heaven. I knew that this is just something that we continue to see, and Cody Rhodes, elite figure fall off has to be studied, and I say that like I don't know what happened. I know exactly what happened. They switched the factory, they switched the formula, and it's been kind of atrocious from there. The legs are very stiff, his boots look like clown feet, and the tattoo being on the face. His figures aesthetically still look really good. Maybe you could argue the clown feet, but I think that Cody Rhodes, his figures used to be so good, and not that they're bad. I think his Ultimate Editions are really good as well, right? His Ultimate Editions still continue to be really good, but his Elite figures, man, used to be some of the best figures that Mattel made in terms of the source material and making it to the superstar, and it's just sad to see because this figure could be so much better than it is. But you do get WrestleMania attire Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. You're getting a repeat head sculpt again. He is getting the weight belt, which is okay, I guess. It is the newer mold where it ports into the front, so you don't get that weird cutoff in there with the peg sticking through. There's some good things here, but there's just a lot that could be improved, I think, for Cody, and I hate to see it because I love Cody. I love, his figures, collecting his figures, and so I think this figure could be better, but, we'll continue to push forward with that. I'm going to continue to try and strive for this figure, but the thing is, man, is they really want to get the most out of their molds, and they're not going to give you a newly tooled boot mold. They're not going to redo the boots because they're trying to put that budget or that new material fund. Why would they do it for Cody Rhodes boots when they can do it for something else that maybe we want to see included in the line? So that's just kind of the give and take that you have to measure and figure out. But let's move on to the next figure, which is going to be Jacob Fatu. Now, this Jacob Fatu, I like a lot more than his first one. And his Elite 118, remember, I thought that it wasn't going to be very good, and I got it in hand, and it was a lot better than I was anticipating. But with that, this figure is a repaint of that figure. So you're taking that Elite 118, you're changing some different stuff about it, and it's giving us one of the Ultimate Edition head sculpts that came from the SmackDown Mattel Creations ring that we saw way back at Comic-Con. We've reviewed it on the channel. They took one of those head sculpts, put it on this Elite 125, and I think this is his Royal Rumble 2025 gear in the half black, half red. You get that Samoan looking pattern going down his leg. I like the red boots and everything. I think these are Cody Rhodes boots still, so we're still getting the clown feet here, but it doesn't look as bad on Jacob Fatu, I don't think. You might be able to make a really cool fix-up, actually. Like, use these boots and make a Cody Rhodes custom or something like that, but I don't like the clown feet for Cody. But he has a painted-on elbow pad, which we've seen in the past. He's got painted-on bicep bands as well. He comes with his red shirt instead of the black, which I think also fits him better. I just think Jacob Fatu honestly needs a new formula. I think this torso's okay. I think it's just the shoulders and arms, man. They continue to give him the shoulders and arms that are too skinny. I think they need to upgrade that. I think from, a few different things. I like this head sculpt. I like this attire. I like the shirt. There's some good things here, but again, I think this figure would be better if we got bigger shoulders and arms on Jacob Fatu. But let's move it on, man, to the next figure in this wave, which is going to be Stephanie Vaquer. And Stephanie Vaquer, I don't know what happened here, man. I don't know what happened because the head sculpt looked so strong, and now that I'm seeing it here in official images on the live streams, in the screenshots, in the render, in the sculpt that we saw at Comic-Con, it looked identical to her. I thought that it was perfect, and now that I see it here, it looks slightly off, and I can't tell what it is. I don't know if it's like right up under the eyes or something. I still think the figure looks damn good. I love the horns. The entrance gear is great. I think that there's some really strong stuff there. And then when you look at the figure on the white background, it almost looks like her legs are small. I don't know what's going on here, man. And maybe I'm completely out of pocket or completely missing the mark. You can tell. I want to know what you guys think here. I still think that it looks like Stephanie. I still think that you have some really good stuff here. But if you look at the men on card image, look at her face, and then look at the box, there's like some sort of disconnect there. And I don't know exactly what it is, but you can let me know down in the comment section below. I'm still excited for it to get it in hand. Sometimes you may think a certain way about a figure, and then when you get it in hand, you're like, oh man, I was completely wrong about this. I'm absolutely missing the mark. So you can let me know what you think about the Stephanie figure. I'd like to know. But the entrance garb looks really, really good, man. I think that is a a fantastic job, and I think that, overall the figure looks good. There's something off about the face, I think, but I may be wrong. You let me know what you're thinking. I'd like to see what you guys have to say about this figure overall. But let's move into Julia, and this is, I hate it because this sounds like I'm just losing my mind on these figures for no reason, but I feel the same way kind of about this Julia figure. I felt like from the neck down, this figure looks pretty damn good. I love all of the attention to detail. You're getting a ton of different paint and patterns and really attention to details. The mask looks cool. I love all the attire looks crazy, and the hair deco is insane on this figure, as we saw in the different, the live streams. You have that, it kind of looks like cotton candy a little bit, right? You have that really bright blue, the pink, the purple, and then you have that ombre fade that goes up into the hair. It looks insane. It really does. There's a really good job going on there. You have that waist wrap. You have these different patterns going down the legs, the knee pads. She has these boots going on that look really good as well. And then the face, I feel like kind of loses it. I don't think the likeness is that great on this Julia figure. I am not the biggest fan of this head sculpt, and I don't know exactly what it is. And I said that about it in the ringside live stream as well, that I didn't feel like it really captured her likeness all that well. But I don't know. Again, let me know what you guys think here. I think, again, though, like, look at the arms. I'm pretty sure those are not just standard arms. Those have sculpted things over the top of the arms. So you're not just getting that painted on. It's actually sculpted onto the sleeve. Same thing with the legs. I think this figure, a lot of the budget in this wave, I think, went to this Julia because she has a lot of unique sculpts and things. I'm really excited to see what this figure feels like in hand because it even looks like these legs are completely tooled. Like, the lower legs on that Julia, that is one-of-one sculpt. That is crazy. This Julia figure is insane, but when you take into account the sleeves and the legs and everything, they went over the top with this. I don't think you're even, unless they repaint this figure specifically, you're not going to get a lot of reuse out of this, so that'll be interesting to observe moving forward. But I don't know, man, I'm not really feeling the head sculpt on this one. I felt like it was kind of a miss in the head sculpt on this Julia, but the next figure in this set is going to be Demolition Crush, which will, of course, go with the rest of our Demolition, and I think it looks pretty good, We got to see those in hands, the new boot sculpt. We got to take a look at that as well. So you'll finally be able to complete that trifecta, which is huge. Something that's been waiting on for a long time in the Mattel line. I do think he could have used bigger arms. A lot of people will probably agree with me on that. It's just a proportion issue, man. It looks really crazy when you have these large thighs, this large torso, and then you have these skinnier arms. It kind of just, I don't know, it can throw the figure off completely. And I don't think it completely throws it off here because you get some entrance garb and stuff, kind of takes away from it. But I still think bigger shoulders and arms, man. Not everybody, I don't know why this has become sort of a thing, but it seems like everybody has the same arms. Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, CM Punk, Demolition Crush, the next figure, Coco Beware, all of them have the same arm mold, and I just don't think that that is correct. But let's move on to the Coco Beware, because the Coco Beware figure is utterly insane. This may be one of the better elites of the year right here. I mean, it has a lot going on with it, man. Between the colors, the bright jacket, the headband, the head sculpt, the glasses, the signature glasses. I dig the Coco Beware, man. I'm really digging it. I like this a lot. You have a lot of news in here. They went with the shorter boots, which I like. This is nice. I like this Coco Beware figure, kind of like Rhea Ripley, and I'm not even like this Coco Beware connoisseur, right? I'm not out here just planting the flag on the massive Coco Beware fan bandwagon, but damn, I know a good figure when I see it, and this Coco Beware is fitting the description. Now we're going to get into a figure, man, that is absolutely crazy. This is a new collector's edition, and I got tagged all over social media on Ringside's post about this figure because if you guys remember, and I'll talk about this a little bit here so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. We have the fully gold collector's edition Elite 125 Final Boss Rock Elite figure in solid gold. Now, this is something that is pretty cool. It also is going to come with this Final Boss Rock sort of platform, which I think is pretty crazy. So it also comes with the stand, which I think kind of completes the figure, kind of makes it look like this big statue, right? And this is a solid gold rock figure, and a lot of people are, I don't know how people feel about it. I feel like some people like it, some people hate it, but if you guys remember way back, if you guys remember about 7 months ago, I did do a tutorial on how to make any WWE figure gold, and it was this tutorial on how to showcase it, how to make your own figures look like statues, to kind of create this look that they have right here. And so everybody was tagging me saying, you know, they stole your idea, they did this, they did that, and, you know, to a certain extent, maybe that's the case, but I think that it may be a little bit deeper than that, which I'll go into, and I'm going to make a short about this later on, but what I think actually happened, do I think they saw my figures and my gold statue sort of thing. I think they did see that, and I think they did see how a lot of people were kind of recreating it and doing it their own way, which is the whole point of it. I was trying to showcase a really cool thing you can do with your WWE figures because I think they look badass. So, I mean, yeah, it does. I think it looks badass. It looks like a gold statue of The Rock, but I think what really happened, this is what really happened, and I think this is the case. If you go back to WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia at the Superstore, I don't know if you guys remember this, but a part of the display, and this was before I made my golden statue figures, right? If you go back to, like, I've had the idea for a long time, but I'm pretty sure this is the case. If you go back to WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia, so to kind of recreate Rocky and the Rocky statue in Philadelphia, remember on the stairs and stuff, it was a part of the display at WrestleMania 40, and they had a Rock figure as the statue, spray painted gold or whatever, and they had it as a part of the display. It was very sick. I remember talking about it in the video. We showcased it, whatever the case is. What I think happened is I think people came up to Mattel at that event and were asking Steve, they were asking Bill, they were asking the Mattel team over and over again, is that statue coming out? Is that statue coming out? Is that statue coming out? And I think they nailed it and nailed it and nailed it, and they were like, damn, people really want a gold Rock, or they want a gold figure statue like this, and I think it could be successful. You know, maybe the statue stuff, maybe they didn't see the stuff at all, but I'm just kind of putting this out there that this is a possibility. I think that the Rock statue at WrestleMania 40 on display, I think it had a way more bigger part in doing and recreating that and creating it into an actual figure than my golden figures. I do think that it's hilarious that people were tagging me saying that they took my idea. I think that's nice, whatever. I do appreciate that. You know, that does amuse me. That tickles my fancy. It's all there for me, right? But I think that the golden statue of The Rock that was on display as a part of the display at WrestleMania 40 at the Superstore had a bigger role in that than my tutorial or showcasing how to do it yourselves. But that is your Elite Series 125, man. I think it is pretty cool. You got Julia, Stephanie, Coco Beware, Golden Collector's Edition Statue Rock, Cody Rhodes, Jacob Fatu, and Demolition Crush. You got some, you got a couple flashbacks, you got a lot of main talent, and then you have a really cool Rock statue figure. I mean, I think it's fine, it's not it's skippable. You don't have to buy it. I don't think it's, it's one of those things, but they saw the success of the clear John Cena, and so they were like, you know what, let's make this Rock figure. And Mattel has been doing these things a lot, right? They do these goofy things all the time. They make these goofy head sculpts. They kind of they're very similar to WWE in a lot of the ways where they want to make viral figures. They want to make action figures that go viral on social media. That's the whole point of this business, kind of, is to make fun, cool things that are, equal to wrestling or compare with wrestling, that go viral or that get a lot of attention. It's just kind of the business workings and practice. So that's what you get with this Rock, kind of. So I understand it, but I think that they saw the success of that statue Rock at WrestleMania, and they said, you know what, Brad, let's make that for real. But let's move into these top picks figures, because I got some bones to pick with some of this. But this Galaxy attire Seth Rollins is absolutely incredible. This black, white, and purple in the pinkish hues. This is so insane that this is actually an action figure, and it was even more insane when he walked out with this attire, because this is one of the better Seth Rollins attires, and they actually made it into figure form. And again, similar to the Ultimate Edition, I'm just happy to have a Seth Rollins that is not in black or gold. We get some new colors in here. You got a really awesome figure. This is a perfect top picks. Now, say what you want about the head sculpts. We all want new head sculpts. We've been waiting on new Seth heads for a very long time now. It's been a while since we've seen a new Seth Rollins head sculpt. It really has. It's been a little bit now. It is time for new Seth Rollins heads, but this one's nice, and it's the yelling head sculpt. Again, seen it multiple times, but that's what the top picks is, right? The top picks is re-releases, and they picked a really good attire here. It's on the new formula. This is a great Seth Rollins. It's got the chest hair. It has the tattoo on the back. This is a damn good Seth Rollins, and it also has both head sculpts, so you're getting an interchangeable head sculpt with it as well. This is a damn good Seth. This is probably going to be one of the better elites of the year for Seth Rollins. If we don't get another Seth Rollins elite this year, I don't think it'll be a big deal, because this one's so damn good. So this one's really great. But then we get into John Cena. Now, this is a figure I was excited for, because this is another John Cena I don't have to make in custom form, but they kind of blew it here, because we have the Glasgow You Can't See Me Farewell Tour John Cena from Glasgow here, man. But this is not accurate, man. We're going to get into it. So if you look at different images of his attire from this night, don't get me wrong, in certain ways it does look black, but it is supposed to be a dark blue, a navy blue color. and they made it black on this figure, man. The hat is black, the armband's black, the accents are black, the shirt is black, and it is not accurate. Now, what's weird is the towel kind of looks like the right color. It's kind of got that navy-ish look because they captured the details, and I think it's because that's an actual image of the towel itself. I don't think they recreated the graphic. I think they took an actual image of the towel, flat, and they just printed it onto some material to make the towel, and that's why you get that accurate navy color. I think that's what happened here, but they did a really good job here. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, hold up. They may have made a bugaboo on this figure, man. Hold up. I think it may run a little bit deeper. They gave this man, dude, they gave this guy the khaki shorts mold. You see the pockets on the side? I don't think he was, hold up, let me Google this. Hold up. Glasgow John Cena. I think they gave him the damn, hold up now. I don't think he was wearing side pockets, man. Nope. No, he wasn't. Yep. You got to do a leg swap on this guy, man. Gonna have to do a leg swap. Get new. Oh, man. This figure is super inaccurate now. That's crazy. Okay. So it was supposed to be a navy blue. And honestly, like, I can see where you may think that it was black based on certain images, but it was a really, really dark blue because in certain images, it looks like it's black. I can see that. But then if you look at some more images in different lighting and you look at the official shirt from WWE shop and you look some different stuff, it's clearly navy. It is a navy blue, it's a dark blue, and they have made it black here. So that's a little bugaboo there. And again, they gave him the khaki shorts mold, man, or cargo shorts. So, you know, the cargo shorts mold, he has pockets on the sides of the thigh. Instead of giving him the denim shorts mold, they gave him the khaki one, so you have the pockets there. Now, the good thing is those are accurate, and good thing is the articulation will be good. The bad thing is they're not accurate. So this figure's all kinds of crazy. And what's even crazier is the socks are navy, but the shirt's black. So, yep. They got the right shoes, though. Shoes look good. Shoes look just like the shoes. They even painted the outsole similar, so it looks like the shoe mold. It's the old Cena shoe mold, but the paint makes it look accurate. That's actually crazy, man. Dang, this is an insane revelation. Now, I knew the color was wrong, and maybe the socks are a little lighter than the shirt, but, yep, this is a miss. Hate to see it. In other ways, though, look at the shirt. Look at the figure shirtless. This is a new heel John Cena head sculpt. I like that. I think the heel John Cena head sculpt looks good for the most part. They're also using the new John Cena torso, so that looks good as well. He's got the bigger shoulders and arms. I do like that. The hat also does not fit the figure very well. And they also gave him the C-grip style hands. You know, those new hands from Drew McIntyre from Elite Series 123. They gave him those hands instead of typical mic holding hands. So that's interesting too. Is that going to be the new hands? Or are we going to start seeing these wrench grip hands from the Elite 123 Drew instead of regular mic holding hands? That's something to observe as well. So you have a lot of interesting things going on here with this John Cena, man. Interesting development. Let me know what you guys think about Glasgow John Cena being very inaccurate. Next up, we're getting into the Monday Night Wars Greatest Hits set. I don't remember what series. This series 3, the Greatest Hits Monday Night Wars, but we're starting out with Road Dogg, and this Road Dogg figure may be the best Road Dogg they've ever made, man. You have a newly done True Effects head sculpt. I think this is, again, a redo of an old head sculpt, but with True Effects, it looks really good. You also have that kind of t-shirt torso, but it is a Degeneration X t-shirt actually on there with their faces, which I think is pretty sweet. He comes with the Raw as War microphone. Only thing I'm really seeing right off rip with this figure is his right hand does have the skin tone peg instead of the black peg, which is kind of but not the biggest deal ever. I'm sure that a hand exists in your collection probably to replace that with if that bothers you that much, but you do get the hat, you get, you know, the DX jersey, which is such a long time coming, man. I can't even tell you how long people have wanted that in their collection. Now, of course, it doesn't have Suck It across the front. It does have Degenerate on the back, which I think is crazy that they actually even got that into the line there. Which, I mean, Degenerate is, you know, it's I guess it's cool. It is cool that they put it on there. It's just crazy that they were able to get it on there. No Velcro on this jersey either. This is a long time coming. I can see people buying up multiples of these to put the DX jersey, and they're probably going to get reuse out of this. I expect to see X-Pac probably done, and they'll probably do a Triple H with it, and they'll do, you know, different characters to have the jersey, extras of the jersey to put in your collection with other figures if you want to. But this is a really good Road Dogg. I think that this is what you want to see out of the greatest hits. You know, taking a pre-existing figure and then doing it up one extra, you know, and taking it to that next level is what I like to see. And I think dressed up, this Road Dogg is probably the best Road Dogg they've ever done off the top of my head. But let's move on to the next figure, which is going to be Billy Gunn, who also looks very good. You know, Billy Gunn has a very strong track record. Wish we could get some different boots on this this guy, but I do like this attire. You got the black, you got the gold, you get the crown in there as well, and I think the head looks a little bit weird because of it almost looks like he has eyeliner on a little bit, but I do like this head sculpt, and there are some other Billy Gunn head sculpts you could probably put on here, but I like the headband, I like the t-shirt, of course, going on here, but Billy Gunn has a really good track record of figures, but you do have the all of this shirt, which I think is also pretty sweet. So, you can do the customization and stuff for this figure if you'd like. And, that's what it's about. Mattel can't always capture every single detail, but I do like this Billy Gunn figure. And then we have Eddie Guerrero here, man. And I could have swore when they showed this figure off on a stream, I do not remember them giving him the old skin tone, the tan that, they used to give Eddie Guerrero, and then they corrected it, and his figures looked so much better. And now they've gone back to giving him this skin tone. I don't understand why they would do that. So, I don't know what happened there, but his Monday Night Wars figure looks a lot better, in my opinion, with the accurate skin tone. His SmackDown 4-pack also looks better, in my opinion, too. And not that this figure looks bad, because I think it looks good. It's just, like, why? Why do we have to, what's up with that? Why would you go back to it? And it just creates these weird inconsistencies in the line that drive me nuts, personally. So you can let me know what you think. I do like this gear. I like that you get the LWO shirt. The head sculpt, this is a reuse of that Monday Night Wars figure, but they did change the skin tone. So now that head sculpt, I get you could torso swap it. I mean, there's a way to make this figure better. It's just you got to do some customization and stuff. So I don't know, man. Let me know what you think there. Do you like this skin tone or you like the other skin tone? I just think the other one is more accurate, right? I mean, I don't know. But let's move on to the last figure in this line besides the Build-A-Figure, which is going to be Rick Steiner, which is a repaint of his Elite 104. And not that figure's bad, but this one's better in my opinion, man. You got a more colorful deco going on, and maybe the other gear is better for you, but I like this gear better. I like the dry brushed bulldog with the flames. You got the head sculpt in there. He's got the signature goatee or the beard paint. Looks very good. Got the collar, got the headband, got the shades. Very cool Rick Steiner figure, man. If you're a Rick Steiner fan, I think this fits in nicely, and it's a good repaint, man. This is what you like to see. If you're going to get redos in the line, the boots look super awesome as well. I think we got those boots last time as well, though, so that's not a big thing. But this figure does look good, man. I like it. You got the Bite Me on there, which actually is another thing. I can't believe they put Bite Me on there, but I don't know. There's always weird things between the Mattel line because sometimes they get away with some stuff, and then sometimes it's like, oh, man. But then we have the Build-A-Figure Little Nate, man, and I think they did a pretty damn good job here, man. I like this head sculpt a little bit, maybe a little cartoony, but at the same time, I think they got it. I think the hair sculpt is nice. I like the figure overall. I'm interested. I don't think they gave him a new leg mold. I'm interested in the height of this figure to see if he's actually shorter, because, he's not the tallest guy of all time. I would like to see if they got the scaling right. I doubt that that it's in scale completely, but I still like this head sculpt, and I think it's going to allow for you to, and they may redo it. I could see them doing a From the Vault Little Nate in the SmackDown shirt, or doing a From the Vault with the classic WWE logo, or doing a more modern one. I could see them doing that. 100% they're going to, do that, and Little Nate looking great, finally getting him in the line. It took a very long time, and I think it looks really good here, so definitely looking forward to him. And then we do have the From the Vault line. So this is going to be From the Vault Series 8, and this is, in my opinion, probably the weakest of the From the Vault series. I think that in this entire set, not that the figures are bad necessarily, I just don't like the picks of the From the Vault here because, when the From the Vault series first came out, man, they were throwing just straight heaters, man. I mean, just 99-mile-an-hour fastballs just zooming, and then it seems like it cooled off a lot. So you have the Harlem Heat and the Chase gear. These came out, a couple years ago, which I understand there's new people coming in the line, but I think that the right pick for these would have been, their original Elites from, Elite Series 46 in the red. I think that would have been better because these are straight up redos of the Monday Night War Series 3 chases that were of the Harlem Heat. So these figures are not that old. They still, these figures are just the same figure, just in different packaging, where you could have went way back and captured those old Elites in the red, which I think would have been much, much better here. And again, I like that we're getting Stevie Ray. I like that we're getting Booker T, and these figures are good figures. I like the way they look, the colors, everything, but I think the red would have been a lot better and stretched a lot further, and you probably would have gotten more buys if you'd done the red gear, but what do I know, man? We're moving on to the other two figures in this set, which is going to be a re-release, again, of a 2-pack we just got, not last year, I think, but the year before, which was the ECW Dudleys, and they didn't really change much about these figures. I think they're straight up re-releases, so you're going to get, you got Bubba Ray, you got Devon, and I don't think they fixed the height on Bubba Ray. I remember this Bubba Ray. I don't have the figure personally, never bought this this 2-pack, but I do think that these figures originally were very massive, and so I don't think they adjusted any of that. So getting a re-release here, I don't know. I don't know, man. I think that some of these figure picks for this From the Vault line were a little strange, at least in my opinion. They weren't the best picks they could have done, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. You can let me know, but this is our second set of Dudleys that have been in the From the Vault set, but you do get the World Tag titles. You get a couple tables. There are some good things here, and I really want that Devon more than that Bubba. I wish the Bubba Ray wasn't so damn tall, but or just massive overall, but like, it's not that these figures are bad figures. It's that these picks for this specific line, what this line is supposed to be, that kind of is just a little confusing to me personally as a collector, because it's supposed to be from the vault, but this isn't from the vault. Like, these figures shouldn't be in the vault yet, you know what I mean? If you think about the vault, I don't know. I don't know. You let me know what you think there, but we're moving on to some retros. We do have some retros here. We have Jey Uso, which does have the yeet action. We got to see this on the live stream before. I think this is pretty cool if you collect the retro figures. I do have a little mini set of retros. I don't have all of them, but I do have a little collection of those, and I think this guy looks pretty good. I like that the sunglasses are molded on there. Looks pretty good. We also have Logan Paul. I don't know, man. They're gonna put out Logan Paul, and I don't know who needs a Logan Paul retro in their collection, but it is there. Got a newer head sculpt here with the tongue out, which is what it is, man. I'm not a Logan Paul fan, but you know, they're making a figure of him here. And then we have an interesting Paul Heyman here, and I like how pissed off he looks. I like the suited mold. He comes with the mic and the Undisputed Championship, which I like. The title belt doesn't have all the, it doesn't have all the paint, but at least they included it. It's got the, kind of classic Jack's way to tighten it around his waist, which I think is pretty cool. So you have Paul Heyman in that retro set. And then we have some LJNs here, which are some of them, I think we knew about all of these, but we have new images here. We're starting off with Stone Cold. So in this LJN line, this is Target exclusive. So you're going to have the blue packaging, then you have the Chase variant in the black. There's nothing different about the figure specifically. It's just a change in packaging. And then I think on the inside, they also have different posters. So there are 3 available posters for you. So you have the one poster that's kind of the standard. It's the light blue. Then you have the one that is going to be a black poster with some different colors. And then the third option is going to be the kind of navyish blue or darker blue. And you can see the crowd background changes into a more modern crowd. You don't have that classic crowd from back in the day and such of the classic artwork. So there's 3 different posters, 2 different packagings. I don't know if you guys are going all in and buying so many different variations of these, trying to track down all the posters, trying to track down both packagings. I don't know. It seems like a lot to me, but I'm not a big LJN guy. Again, I'll probably pick up a few. I'll pick up Cena. I'll probably pick up this Austin, just to have. I think this Austin, I like the pose of this Austin, and I like the way it looks, so I may grab this Austin, but he does feature the Stone Cold vest, front and back. He's got the one knee brace. He's got his tattoo. It looks pretty good. I like this LJN, but I'm not LJN, just some master expert on this, so you can let me know what you're thinking on that. And then we have a re-release of Ultimate Warrior. Not a re-release in certain ways, but I do believe this is the original mold of the Ultimate Warrior from back in the day. And just like Stone Cold, just like every other figure, you're going to get 2 different packagings. You're going to have the blue packaging, the black packaging, and then they're also going to be doing the 3 different posters again. So you can look at the deco. I'll put them one after another so you can see the differences between the 3. But correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure this is what we got out of the Coliseum Collection in Ultimate Edition form. I think that was the whole point of the Coliseum Collection, was taking their LJN look and making them into Ultimate form. So I think that's kind of cool how you get that connection. But I think this is the OG Ultimate Warrior mold from back in the day. And I mean, you can kind of see the datedness of it and everything. And they kind of wanted to, they're trying to capture that nostalgic spot. They're trying to hit you in that feel and trying to, get that part of the collector, which I think makes sense. But this is before me, right? So this isn't the era I grew up in. I didn't ever collect LJNs or grow up on these. So, it's not my market. It's not necessarily what I'm trying to track down, but I do understand it, and not everything that Mattel puts out is going to be for me. That's how it works, right? I mean, that's business. They're trying to capture a little bit of the market in different ways. There's niches within this niche. But then we are moving on to King Kong Bundy. And King Kong Bundy, same thing. I do believe they're trying to capture the exact same thing. So it's the same OG mold, to my knowledge. It's got the 3 different posters, the 2 different packaging variants, and the figure is exactly the same. So I think that, if you're trying to collect that, mint on card. I know there's people out there that are going to be trying to get the mint on card, regular version, the Chase, all 3 posters, whatever the case is. And I do believe that in the blue, you can get either blue, I think. I'm not entirely sure there, but I mean, they went out of their way to make these images so that you can see all the different variations so that you don't get confused. But there is King Kong Bundy with all of his different, variations and things. And then last but not least, for the LJNs, we do have Jesse Ventura, which I think is a really damn good figure. It's going to be hard not to buy this. I don't know if I'm going to buy this or not, but I do love Jesse. I love the pink suit. Is very toyetic. Comes with a mic. He comes with sunglasses. There's a lot to like about this Jesse Ventura. So I don't know if I'm going to be grabbing this or not. I have not seen a single LJN figure. Not once. I didn't see any at Christmas. Didn't see any at Target. I haven't seen any pop up. So if I find these, it'll be a decision I have to make. But I know for a fact I'm getting John Cena. I don't know about the Chase variant thing. I guess if I find them both, but it's not one of those things where I'm super searching it out and seeking it out. So it'll just be one of those happenstance things. But we do finish it up with some Knuckle Crunchers here, which I think this comes with a Jimmy Uso or Jay Uso figure. I'm sorry, it's a new Jay Uso figure that doesn't have any tattoos on it, but you do get quite a bit here. So in this Knuckle Cruncher set, I think it's also going to include slime, which doesn't make me excited as a parent, but you do get a trash can, you get a forklift, you get a little porta potty, which I think is fantastic, and you can kind of see some different figures that are going to be coming out soon. We have some, Solo Sikoa, we know. You have this Punk, the CM Punk in street gear. None of the tattoos, though, which is upsetting, but you also have a Logan Paul. So and I think it's funny they put Logan Paul in the toilet with his face in the toilet with the slime. I think they knew what they were doing there, but yeah, I don't think we knew about a Logan Paul Knuckle Cruncher to my knowledge. I do remember we were getting LA Knight, Solo Sikoa. There's some different things coming down the line, but we do have this new Jey Uso without any tattoos, which, is what it is. It kind of looks like Tama Tonga a little bit, but yeah, we have a Jey Uso coming out, and then we do have this cool Porta Potty Backstage Brawl set, which I think is pretty cool, and I will be buying this for sure. I love the Knuckle Crunchers line, so I think this is awesome, and I can't wait to get my hands on the rest of these Knuckle Crunchers. I don't know, I really enjoyed this line, so that'll be fun, but that is all the news, man. We had a lot of stuff going on, and again, we do have some more news coming tomorrow that you can look forward to, but that is pretty much going to wrap it up for this WWE action figure news video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you have watched the video to this point, man, I'd greatly appreciate you liking the video and leaving a comment just to help boost the video as much as possible, but I appreciate you guys so very much. I'd love to know your thoughts on all this news. What do you think is upsetting? What do you like? What are you going to be buying in 2026? But I'm getting out, man. I'll see you guys next time. Have a blessed one, and I'll catch you guys later.